Country Director for the Nature Conservancy Belize, Dr. Leandra Ricketts-Cho, Executive Director, Belize Fund for Sustainable Future, Ms. Janelle Chinuna, Country Director for Oceania Belize, Mrs. Amanda Acosta, Executive Director, Belize Audubon Society, representative for the Sartiniga Alliance for Conservation and Development, SACD, Hopkins, Dangriga, and other fishers who are here today, invited guests, the media, those on Facebook, good morning again. This is a historic event this morning, and I will not say anymore. I don't want to preempt anyone who will be speaking in depth on the program, but as we go through this morning's event, I will share a couple of little mini facts about what today's big thing is all about. This morning, we want to invite on the podium to give the official welcome remarks Mrs. Narda Garcia, who is currently the Chief Executive Officer in the Office of the Prime Minister and an investment figure. She boasts a rich career as an economist. Her journey began in 1997 as a market information specialist at the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, leading to CEO roles at Belize Social Security Board and SpeedNet Communications Limited in 1999 and 2000, respectively. She earned international recognition representing Belize in the International Social Security Association, ISSA, and Inter-American Conference on Social Security, CISS. Additionally, Mrs. Garcia served as president of the National Women's Commission and held positions in various committees and boards, exhibiting a diverse and impactful career trajectory. Welcome to the podium, Mrs. Narda Garcia.
Good morning. Honorable Christopher Okoye, Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development and Investment, Mr. Christopher Holtz, Vice President of Art for Life Initiative, Mr. Henry Anderson, CEO of the Development Finance Corporation, Mr. Osmani Salas, representative of the World Wildlife Fund, representatives of the Blue Bond and Finance Permanence Unit, other government officials, other representatives of NGOs, representatives of the fishing community, partners, stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, also members of the media. Again, good morning and welcome. Welcome to the launch of the new loan program implemented by the Development Finance Corporation for artisanal and small-scale fisher folks. We are thrilled to introduce this initiative, which aims to provide financial support and resources to those who play a crucial role in sustaining our marine ecosystems and contributing to the livelihoods and coastal communities. This landmark initiative underscores our unwavering commitment to the sustainable growth and prosperity of Belize's fisheries sector, a vital cornerstone of our nation's economy and heritage. The fisheries sector in Belize continues to provide jobs, livelihoods, foreign exchange earnings, and food security to our country and its people. This sector is dominated by 3,500 fisherfolk who can be characterized as small-scale producers and who experience various vulnerabilities associated with conducting their operations that negatively impact their ability to be successful. Today's launch is a significant step towards empowering our fisher folks and ensuring the sustainability of their businesses. The loan program will offer accessible and tailored financial assistance to support the growth and development of small-scale fishing enterprises, ultimately contributing to the economic prosperity of our coastal communities. The unveiling of this program signals a new era of opportunity and empowerment of our artisanal and small-scale fisher folk, as it will provide them with access to crucial finance resources and support, much needed support, to enhance their operations and uplift their livelihoods. Important to mention is the even more concessionary rates offered to our women fishers, who traditionally have experienced discrimination in the banking system. Through the strategic collaboration and concerted efforts of the Development Finance Corporation, in partnership with the Government of Belize, the World Wildlife Fund, and the Wildlife Conservation Society, other government agencies and stakeholders, we are confident that this program will catalyze positive change and foster resilience within the fisheries industry. Today marks the dawn of a transformative journey towards a more inclusive, equitable, and thriving fisheries sector, and we are honored to embark on this pivotal endeavor together. On a day like today, it is so significant for the fisheries industry, it becomes imperative to highlight the importance of the Blue Bonds programs in increasing awareness and making substantial investments in the conservation efforts of our marine resources. The Blue Bond has played a pivotal role in highlighting the interconnectedness of sustainable fisheries management, economic development, and environmental conservation. By leveraging the potential of the Blue Bonds, we can further promote the responsible and sustainable use of our marine resources while supporting the livelihoods of our fisher folks. We are excited about the opportunities that this loan program presents for our artisanal and small-scale fisher folks, and we are committed to working together to ensure its success. Artisanal and small-scale fisher folks are also an integral part of our MSME policy and strategy adopted by the Government of Belize last year, and the amendments made to the Fiscal Incentive Act, which allows access to duty and other tax exemptions that previously could only be accessed by big businesses. I must highlight that the amendments to the Fiscal Incentives Act enables the MSMEs to access one-time duty exemptions, especially for the purchase of capital investments and equipment. We look forward to witnessing the positive impact of this initiative on the lives and livelihoods of our coastal communities. People, a thriving blue economy is centered around economic drivers like the fisheries sector that is very much dependent on good stewardship of the natural capital, which it depends on, but is also very dependent on responsible users who appreciate the need to employ sustainable best practices. Today marks the government's commitment to the development of the national social capital, which is equally as important as the natural assets, as we ensure that the government's people-centric conservation agenda is realized. We must make certain nature and that stewardship result in the improved well-being of Belizeans. Thank you for joining us today as we embark on this important journey towards a more sustainable and prosperous future for our fisher folks and our marine ecosystems. Thank you for your presence and unwavering dedication to the advancements of Belize's fisheries, and we look forward to the impactful outcomes that will unfold through this visionary loan program. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that welcome address, Mrs. Garcia. We're gonna shift around the program just a little bit because I was made to understand that the Minister of State for Finance, Economic Development and Investment has another commitment and he needs to leave a little bit earlier. So we're gonna call on the minister now, but before we do that, just a little bit about him. Mr. Christopher 𝐶𝐫 was born on April 16, 1972 in Belize City, Belize, and earned his law license in 1999. He pursued an MS in economics from the University of Texas at Austin in 1994, followed by an LLB honors from the University of the West Indies and a legal education certificate from Norman Manley Law School in 1997. Minister 𝐶𝐫 specializes in commercial law, banking, real estate, and more, amassing 2 decades of legal expertise, and has held prominent roles including chairman of the Integrity Commission, president of the Belize International Financial Services Association, and director of International Financial Services Division at Belize Bank International Limited. As of November 16, 2020, Minister 𝐶𝐫 serves as the Minister of State for Finance, Economic Development and Investment in Belize, appointed by the Prime Minister. With the keynote address for today's ceremony, and I call on Minister 𝐶𝐫. Give him a warm welcome, please.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us for the launch of the DFC Fisher Loan Program. Belize has been greatly blessed with rich marine biodiversity, which supports important productive sectors like fisheries that is central to Belize's blue economy. Belize identifies the blue economy as one of the pillars for our national economic development and growth. In furtherance thereof, the Government of Belize has made great investments to ensure the effective use of our blue natural capital assets in support of key economic sectors like fisheries. The fisheries sector contributes significantly to our national economy through its foreign exchange earnings of around $50 million annually, which help to sustain the livelihoods of 3,500 fishers and their respective households. Fisheries also plays an important role in food security as an important protein source for our people. At the same time, a successful fisheries sector is very much contingent on prudent fisheries management, which translates to long-term income generation through the sustainable use of marine resources. The Fisher Loan Program being launched today reflects the government's commitment to support small-scale producers and micro-enterprises through the availability of financing that is tailored to their specific characteristics and needs. The Development Finance Corporation, in partnership with the Government of Belize, the World Wildlife Fund, and the Wildlife Conservation Society, has developed this first-of-its-kind customized loan program to make affordable financing to fishers while promoting sustainable use best practices by fishers for the long-term viability of the sector. This program will also include elements to strengthen fisherfolk organizations and the financial management by fisherfolk to facilitate their good stewardship of Belize's fisheries resources, increased income, and improved welfare. Traditionally, fishers have had to resort to accessing financial products offered by banks and credit unions or informal loan sources, and are limited to short-term 3-month small loans, $150 to $500, with interest rates that exceed as much as 45% per annum. We congratulate the DFC and its partners for their vision and leadership in creating opportunities for supporting fishers and for recognizing the importance of financing for the development of sustainable activities, for the improvement of livelihoods and welfare, and ultimately, the natural capital which these activities are dependent on. Ladies and gentlemen, the success of this program is very important as we move towards the implementation of the recently approved Blue Economy project funded by the IDB, where $2 million has been earmarked to support directly the livelihood activities for fisherfolk. Also on the horizon is the project Finance for Permanence program, Resilient Bold Belize, being co-designed by the Government of Belize and the WWF, which has identified improved livelihoods as one of its 5 pillars and strategic areas for investments. It is envisioned that this program will provide the information and structure for the rollout of these initiatives to bring even more support to the fishing community. A resilient and thriving fisherfolk community is essential to the maintenance of healthy fisheries resources. If our fisherfolk are not thriving, then the incentive to engage in unsustainable fishing practice becomes prevalent in order to meet the needs of their households. It is therefore incumbent upon us to support and enable the facilities and investments for improved livelihoods for fishers as we continue down the pathway to realize a successful blue economy. Today marks the beginning of a new, dedicated, collaborative effort to promote the responsible and sustainable use of our fisheries resources with a view to ensure that the country and people of Belize continue to benefit from this very important sector. Just as it remains a pioneer in the upliftment of aspiring students through education loans, the DFC once again blazes a trail in this launch today of this one-of-a-kind in Belize Fisher Loan Program. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving a well-deserved congratulations to the DFC team and its partners in making this program a reality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Koi, for that informative presentation. I was speaking earlier with a fisher, and the person said, "Loan big fish there." I say, "But you're a big fish too." I mean, the fisheries sector provides 15% of GDP, right? A lot of money and a lot of time and effort fishers take to go out and catch seafood and provide seafood for us, especially coming up right now. We have Easter coming up, and you know everybody wants a fish for Good Friday. So the important thing is that you're not just a fisher, you're an important part of the process. And I think this is a very important point to make, because a lot of times you underestimate yourselves and how important your role is to our economy, and so we just want to big up all the fishers this morning who are here, even those of you who were not able to make it. It's all about you. I had an experience once working with fisheries, with fishers, where a woman, she said she was saving her money. She had like probably $3,000 or $4,000 saved up to buy a small vessel, and her partner took her money, and she didn't have any access to get more for what she wanted. So I think this is a really good initiative, especially for women who are somewhat marginalized, and the fact that the rates are a little bit lower for women, I really like that as well. All right, enough of me talking. We move on with the program. Up next, we will call for remarks from Mr. Christopher Holtz, who is the Vice President for Earth for Life Initiative of WWF. Mr. Holtz leads WWF's Earth for Life program dedicated to enhancing global protected area systems. After 25 years committed to conservation, he managed MacArthur Foundation grants across Asia, the Pacific, South America, and Africa, and directed grants for the Critical Ecosystems Partnership Fund in Asia. Since 2021, he supports WWF's efforts in Belize through the Resilient Bold Initiative Belize, reconnecting with the country that sparked his conservation career. An avid diver, Chris champions an artisanal finance program benefiting fishers and promoting resilient management for Belize's marine conservation. His return to Belize inspires him to ensure the lasting preservation of Belize's vibrant sea. Welcome, Mr. Chris Holtz. Give him a warm Belizean welcome. Thank you.
Good morning. On behalf of WWF, I want to thank Minister of State for Finance, Economic Development and Investment, Christopher Coy, CEO in the Office of the Prime Minister, Narda Garcia, CEO of the Development Finance Corporation, Henry Anderson, and Beverly Wade, Director of the Blue Bond and Finance Permanence Unit. I also want to thank our colleagues at the Fisheries Department, WCS, and importantly, the fishers who have traveled to be here today to celebrate the launch of the Artisanal Fishing Loan Pilot Program. And of course, Prime Minister John Briceño for his vision and leadership. I lead WWF's Project Finance for Permanence initiatives. In addition to Belize, we support PFP initiatives in Brazil, Bhutan, Peru, Colombia, and Namibia. Resilient Bold Belize will be the first PFP focused entirely on safeguarding coastal and marine ecosystems. PFPs forge a single agreement between governments, donors, and civil society that unlocks commitments, financial and otherwise, to protect and manage large conservation area networks for the long term. Central to securing permanence is partnership with Indigenous people and local communities. Resilient Bold Belize builds on the enabling framework created by the Blue Bond and Belize's long track record for conservation innovation, including marine protected area co-management. Belize is part of a growing community of nations that are using the PFP approach to pursue large-scale conservation with a commitment to upholding the rights of communities and creating sustainable economic growth. Resilient Bold Belize leverages the collective ambition of the Enduring Earth Partnership, a collaboration of WWF, the Nature Conservancy, the Pew Charitable Trusts, and Zoma Lab. Enduring Earth works with all stewards of the environment to accelerate conservation worldwide, helping to enable countries to meet global conservation and climate goals using the PFP approach. Let me take a moment to tell you how this all started, at least from my perspective. About 9 months ago, 𝐻𝐸𝐶 𝐸 and I met with Minister Coy to brief him on Resilient Bold Belize. During our conversation, we mentioned our interest in finding new ways Resilient Bold Belize could help support coastal livelihoods and make them more sustainable and profitable. We described some very preliminary ideas. Minister Coy was so interested, he invited us back that afternoon. To me, that was unusual and an exciting opportunity. Ministers of Finance don't usually show that kind of interest in a big conservation program. 𝐻𝐸𝐶 and I, and Carolina Ortiz and Deborah, who many of you know, and who are here with us today, scrambled to put together several slides describing our initial thinking and returned to Minister Coy's office a few hours later. During that second meeting, one of the ideas piqued his interest, and that is the reason we are here today. The idea was bringing together the skills and resources of Belize's Development Finance Corporation with the skills and resources of my team at WWF to test whether we could simultaneously provide a new type of financing for fisher folks while also helping them fish more sustainably. Minister Coy was very clear. He wanted practical solutions to real challenges, and to do so in a way that would work at a scale that make a real difference for the people of Belize and for better management of the resources they rely upon. He brokered this partnership and set the tone for how it has worked. True collaboration between government, NGOs, and fishing communities. And what has emerged from this collaboration is the Artisanal Fisher Loan Pilot Program. Together with DFC, under the leadership of CEO Anderson, we embarked on a journey to think beyond existing financial products by asking the question, what if a loan could be more than a loan? What if a loan could make fishers' operations less expensive and encourage them to become better stewards of the ocean by linking the loan with trainings and incentives to do so? This co-designed journey, sometimes on land, other times on the water with the fishers on their boats, took us to Glover's Reef, where the team And by the team, I don't mean my team. I mean a team that consists of DFC staff, WWF staff, WCS staff. We're able to talk to many fishers and understand their financing needs, their aspirations and challenges. Together with 45 fishers from Dengriga, Hopkins, Sartaneja, who use Area 8 as their fishing ground, we co-created the artisanal fishing loans that DFC presents to you today. We intentionally engaged a diverse group of fishers, women and men, the young and experienced, fishers from the north and south of Belize. We saw and respected the cultural importance of fishing to coastal communities. Through this process, we are learning how to better connect financial management and resilience with strong stewardships, with fishers guiding us and showing us what they need to be stronger partners in conservation. Finally, it has shown us the importance of starting small with this pilot to give us all a chance to learn and iterate quickly so we can bring a robust solution to all artisanal fishers in Belize. We think we have a tremendous opportunity to do something really different and quite special here. So thank you all for being here and for your partnership. I particularly want to acknowledge Eddie, Norman, John, Veronica, and all of the fishers who have traveled to be with us today, who have played such a vital role in guiding the design of this program. Today would not have been possible without all of you, and I hope this program lives up to your expectations. I thank you, and I ask for your continued partnership as we learn from this pilot and understand how to improve and expand the program for the benefit of all fisherfolk in Belize. Thank you very much.
So in the interest of time, we're gonna forego the next segment on the program, which would have been some remarks from the fishers. They will be having that discussion in the session that happens in the House of Culture after the ceremonies. So we will hear from them. If you want to join that session, you're free to join that session. So now we call on the Chief Executive. Let me get that right. I think it changed. Let me make sure. Yes, the Chief Executive Officer of the Development Finance Corporation, Mr. Henry Anderson, and I was told that there are two Henry Andersons in Belize. One is a doctor, and he's not the doctor, so make that clear. With extensive experience spanning over 20 years in business development, strategy, and finance, Mr. Anderson currently serves as the Chief Executive Officer at the Development Finance Corporation, DFC, Belize's premier development finance institution. Joining DFC as chairman in 2021 and assuming the CEO role in 2023, his focus centers on fostering social and economic progress through innovative financing solutions. Armed with an MBA from Babson College, Mr. Anderson drives DFC's operations, projects, partnerships, ensuring they align with national development objectives and stakeholder interests. Prior roles include General Manager at Belize Estate Company, CEO of Citrus Growers Association, Provost at the University of Belize, and CEO for Ministries of Health and Communications. Mr. Anderson's leadership ethos emphasizes collaboration, inclusivity, and visionary initiatives for Belize's sustainable advancement. Let's welcome to the podium, Mr. Anderson.
Good morning, protocol having been observed. It's really nice sitting here. I grew up in this area, all right? We used to play baseball over there, and sitting and watching the shoreline used to be out quite a few feet more. I just want to make a couple remarks. I only have 5 minutes, Osmani told me, so I said this is the closing. I would just see at the end, but he said I have to say something. A lot has been said this morning, and I just want to share the DFC's journey in all of this, because they say, you know, when you do hard work, you know, and you have opportunity come along. Maybe that's some luck. But DFC just made our application for the Green Climate Fund accreditation at the 31st of January. That was long in coming. And as part of that process last year, the board approved a package of new policies aimed at modernizing governance at DFC. One of which is we launched an environmental and social management system. Along with that comes a stakeholder and communication policy, and also a grievance mechanism. So when I got an email from Minister Koi 10 months ago, introducing me to Chris, and 9 months ago we met, all right, it's like a gestation period. And we're here today. In that time, the DFC had been doing a whole lot of work to get us ready to be able to deliver on anywhere from 8.5% to 12% loans. All right, we were able to earn a profit for the second year in a row. That's the first time the DFC had ever done that in history. We also got our non-performing loan below the benchmark of 15%. Again, that had never been done before. And all of those things allow the IDB, the Caribbean Development Bank, ICDF Taiwan, to lend us money at better rates or more competitive rates because of how responsible we are. I would like to say to the fishers this morning, and I love fishing, but I prefer to go catching. I don't like to go fishing because if you catch, right? So let's go catching. You have always heard, or the impression is, that the DFC is difficult to work with, that we require a lot of information. What you're participating in is a first, and you heard it said earlier. It's a first in Belize, and it's a first in the world. And if we get this right, and it's not an if, we will get it, right? I think Chris mentioned hope earlier. At DFC, we say hope is not a plan, right? We work for initiative. We figure out what's the right thing to do and get it done. But when we get this right, we're paving the way for future generations to bring more women in the space, to bring youths, and also living with the environment. There are two things we have to work with here: human actions and time. We control human actions, we don't control time. And what I hope to see when the PFP gets launched is a monitoring and evaluation mechanism and cutting out of the bureaucracy that you find in the development and conservation space as it relates to financing, to ensure that we're compassionate and we're providing the financing in a way that the fisher folk need and in the time they need. We will work with you, but we ask you to work with us. Some of the things we ask for, if you comply, it will improve the quality of business, it will make your business more resilient, but more so, when the time comes and DFC is able to attract funding from the Green Climate Fund and other areas, those fundings come in at 0.75%, less than 1%. We will be able to offer even more cheaper loans to you if we all do the right things. And so if you follow the lead, and you sometimes might be painful at first to get used to, but if you do the reporting that we ask, right, and you provide the information, we build a relationship. When that time comes, maybe 2 years down the road, it will be easier because you will be ready, your business will be ready to focus in. So we look at financial inclusion, how we get you into the formal banking system, and all of those things we'll work with you. So I would like to thank Minister Koi for his vision. I would like to thank Bev, Osmani, Deborah, and Chris for the collaboration. I'd like to give a special thank you to our Chief Lending Officer, Mrs. Chanel Renault, and please give her a round of applause because she has done a lot of work with her team, all right, juggling 15,000 different things to make this happen. So we are on board, and to the fishers, if you have any issue, reach out to Ms. Chanel, reach out to my office, and we will work with you to get this done. So this is a first, and let's be proud, let's be bold, and let's lead the way. Just as Belize did with the Blue Bond, a PFP in the blue space, I understand, is a first, and so we're happy to be a part of it, and let's show the world, again, what Belize can do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anderson. And we're ending the program now, but just before we leave to go over to the interactive session, I just want to mention here, especially for those other fishers who might be listening from areas outside of Area 8, where this pilot project is starting. So the main focus for this pilot is fishing Area 8, where Glover's Reef is, with a focus on targeting fishers from Dangriga, Hopkins, Sartineja, and Shunush. Purpose is that once it is tested, it would be available nationwide to registered fishers. So I just thought I'd say that for those who are listening and saying, but why are we not a part of it, you know? It's just a pilot, and hopefully it goes well and it can be extended to other parts, other fishing areas. All right, so now there will be an interactive session over at the House of Culture, but we invite you to grab some snacks from the back, and the Conservation Planning Working Group and Fishers will be meeting over at the House of Culture for an interactive discussion and more in depth, and they can address comments at that time. So thank you very much for being here this morning. For those of you who are listening on social media, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day.